This post is essentially what the title says. My daughter recently had a baby with her husband, and when I went to see the baby for the first time, she laid out some ground rules for the family. Most of them were reasonable, like washing hands, no amber necklaces as gifts, and respecting her privacy. But then she mentioned that her grandfather would not be allowed to be alone with her baby. I found this strange and out of the blue, so I asked her to clarify. She simply restated that he was not allowed to be alone with the baby, ever. My daughter has always had conflict with her grandfather. She refuses to have anything to do with him and speaks poorly of him whenever she gets the chance. She won't attend family dinners if he's there, and we had to fight to get him invited to her wedding. While she has issues with other family members, she's never had a problem being cordial with them. He's the only exception. When she was around 22, we ended up in a screaming match about her behavior towards him. She couldn't, or wouldn't, provide any solid reason for her feelings beyond saying, "He's a dick." Yes, he's an asshole, but no more than any other old man. At least in my family. I tried to reason with her, especially since he's nearing the end of his life, and would love to meet his great-grandchild. But she was very firm. It took me a while to realize why she didn't want him around her baby. She looked at me and repeated that he was not allowed near her child alone under any circumstances. When I asked what she meant by that, she just stared at me. At that point, I started suspecting that he had done something very wrong. When I asked my daughter what he did, she only said, "You know, and I don't want to say it or talk about it." I pressed her again, asking if he had touched her or anything like that. She just got teary-eyed and told me she didn't want to talk about it. I am devastated. I never thought him capable of such behavior. But looking back, there were many things in my daughter's childhood that seemed abnormal, like infections, paranoia, and depression, that I had chalked up to our family's mental health history. I never connected those issues to him. Now, I feel lost. We haven't spoken since that day, and I've been sobbing for hours. I don't know what to do, who to tell, or if I should tell anyone at all. How do I navigate this? I love my daughter very much, but I'm struggling to come to terms with my father's actions. Update: I visited my daughter this morning. She seemed more excited about her baby than anything else, which was lovely to see. I figured she wanted to drop the topic, but I felt it was important to apologize. I told her I was sorry for forcing her grandfather to come to her wedding. She insisted it was fine, but I felt it wasn't. I apologized for failing her as a mother and not being more aware of her feelings. I promised her that if she wanted, she would never have to hear about her grandfather again. Someone suggested editing her wedding photos to remove him, and she took me up on that offer. I made it clear that I would support whatever decision she made. She told me enough time had passed, and she had gotten enough therapy that his actions don't affect her as much as they used to. She doesn't think about it often, only when she's around him. She doesn't want to pursue legal action, but also doesn't want him to have contact with her or anyone else in the family. I assured her I would make that happen. We talked for a long time. I apologized for a lot and made it clear she was under no obligation to forgive me, as I wouldn't if I were in her shoes. We hugged and cried together. We won't act on anything until she feels comfortable, which she said might take a while since she's very tired and emotional postpartum. I'll quietly ask my mother not to allow my father around any of the children in our family until we sort things out. My daughter gave me permission to tell my mother loosely what happened, and since she's a very private woman, we both felt comfortable sharing. My daughter seems to be doing well. She doesn't appear angry or hurt, but then again, she's had years to come to terms with this because of my lack of awareness. Her baby is beautiful and healthy, and very calm, which will be good for her right now. She's happy and excited to be a mother. I won't fail my grandchild like I failed her, and I will never fail my daughter again. I do want to ask a question, though. To those messaging me with death threats and wishing violence against me, how are you any less of a monster than my father?